There are some games where I admittedly sound like I'm insane in how I spend my gaming time. The power fantasies of your sports games, your first-person shooters, or even Super Mario make sense. There's a sense of freedom and adrenaline that comes with those games, where you're winning the big game, getting headshots against other humans, or you're an Italian plumber in a fungus-based land where you have go-karting, tennis, and a doctorate to occupy your hobbies. Well, okay, maybe I sound just as insane with that description, but especially with bedroom programmers trying to out-weird each other in some pitches, it makes me sound like I'm either nuts or just so phenomenally boring that I'm one step away from being Herbert from accounting, who collects stamps and whose favorite superhero movie is still Daredevil from 2003. This next one's going to make me sound like one of those characters, so here goes. One of my favorite games of the year is about unpacking my stuff for the first half of my life from a kid to my adult years. There's no shooting, no jump scares, no power fantasy, it is all unpacking stuff and putting it away. And it's somehow f***ing genius. I'll admit that "you just unpack stuff" is a condescending and oversimplification for unpacking, but I was genuinely surprised with how much the game has to offer. The complexity here comes from its design in a way that tells you not just about the character you play, but about yourself. How we organize our stuff and how much we present it tells us so much about ourselves, and it has a story to tell with the character you're unpacking for. You follow them in various homes, starting from your childhood to your first places in college, up until the final boss of your first home, and the small objects you put away tell you about your character's mental state, what they've decided to hold on to, other things that they've let go throughout their life, and various things like books or games or clothes that don't fill in the gaps of their creativity or their self-image. This is all done through smart gameplay, like a relationship that feels a bit uneasy, or you simply can't touch or move any of the stuff from one roommate, which really comes into play with how different it is later in the game. And unpacking does offer solid challenges with limited spaces to put your stuff, where you may only have a certain amount of coat hangers or wall space, and even the decorations can be a bit tricky to figure out. The game even grades you on putting your stuff in a specific part, while you have to learn not to live like a hoarder and put it up in the right spot. And the extra secrets, like unlocking various trophies, are a welcome addition and admittedly really funny. The game is available on the computer and the 3 major home consoles, that includes the Series X and PlayStation 5, meaning you have the option to play with the obvious choice for this, a mouse and keyboard. I played this through Xbox Game Pass with an Xbox controller, and I can safely say it's no deal breaker. It didn't feel cumbersome, and you'll be able to adapt to the controller no problem. The mouse and keyboard are probably the best way to go, but I still totally recommend playing the game on a game console with those pesky buttons and joysticks. No matter how you decide to play the game, it's an easy recommendation with its strange power of immersion and a clear level of heart and passion that went into it. It sounds really silly for me to say that this is one of my favorites until you try it for yourself. If I were you, I'd start downloading or wishlisting Unpacking, which is a good way to wait for the next video in the marathon of my favorites of 2021. Only 4 more to go, you might see a few favorites of yours, or maybe a new favorite. Blah blah blah, subscribe, ring the bell, you know the routine, blah blah blah.